Here's part 2 of Trucking TV's look at the rubbish and filth that's thrown onto the UK's motorway hard shoulders with Highways England. To give you a more graphic idea of the sheer amounts of refuse they collect, we did a couple of trial picks along a slip road, each covering just 20 yards of roadside. This is our second pick, and it took less than 3 minutes. The two pickers each collected half a bag of rubbish, not including bottles of pee. They set those aside so that we could see them separately. So that's a total of one whole bag of rubbish between them in 20 yards. As they're working behind the Armco barriers, they're reasonably well protected. But if this job actually included working on the hard shoulder, they'd need an extra person driving a warning vehicle with flashing lights behind them on the shoulder to try and prevent vehicles meandering on the shoulder when drivers lose attention. The operatives say this happens all the time.
Carry on. So we've been working with the guys from Highways England for the morning. We've covered a good deal of territory. We've been up and down the M11. We've had a look at the M25, and we're back on the M11 again to just do what we've done is 2 sections, each unbelievably of just 20 yards. And in each of those 20-yard sections, we've got a full bag of rubbish. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But the loathsome and disgusting thing, drivers, is this. In each of those 20 yards, we've picked up anything from 6 to 10 bottles just like this. So what we're now going to do is walk up and survey our bottles of pee. There's 2. There's another 2 and another one, that's 5. That's 6. And that's number 7. So in 20 yards, 7 bottles of pee, which have to be from truck drivers. We can't say any more than that, really, can we? But I find it disgusting. I'm really sorry, guys. But we've got to put a stop on this one, really, haven't we? Because it's revolting. We've just done this. We've done, what, 40 yards in total?
Yes.
It's probably taken us 10 or 15 minutes all told. We've left it, and it's reasonably clean, isn't it? It looks half decent.
Yeah, it is.
When would you need to come back to see it in the same state?
About 2 to 3 days' time, I should reckon.
Right, the same kind of amount of rubbish?
Yeah, same kind, McDonald's wrappers, other different wrappers, you know, might find another couple of urine bottles and that.
So, just the same again?
Yeah, it's just going to be an ongoing job and that never gets sorted or never will stay clean.
To get an overview of the costs and time consumed on this job, here's Jack Tappin of Highways England.
So there's an awful lot of litter out there on our motorways, and we're doing all that we can to keep it clear, but it'd be even better if people just didn't leave it there in the first place. Obviously it's a job that needs to be done, but we could be spending our time and our money doing work elsewhere, which is work that needs doing as well. So it typically costs about £40 per bag to pick up, although that does vary from place to place depending on what's happening there. And so for a bit of context, last year in 2017 we picked up about 5,000 bags of litter just on the M11, so that's not including obviously all the other motorways, the bigger motorways motorways. So we spent about £50,000 on picking up all that litter, and we used about 1,100 man hours. So if you imagine all the work that could have been done elsewhere with that time and money, each bag of litter is the equivalent to about fixing one pothole. So if you think of all the potholes that came up, particularly after the beast from the east quite recently, and all of the repairs that needed doing, if you imagine how much better that could have been done rather than using the money to do litter picking, it'll give you an example where we could be using that money elsewhere. We do a lot with services to help encourage them to prevent littering. So there's been a recent trial, for example, with funnel bins up in the north, and you'll see at some of the cafes and takeaways recently there are more of those sort of bins you can chuck stuff into, like the basketball hoops. So we do things like that to encourage them, but ultimately it's people's responsibility to throw their own litter away, and our service stations do provide bins for people, but if those people choose to drive away instead and throw it out the window, then that's very unfortunate, and that's a behaviour that we want to change. When our guys are out there litter picking, it is a very dangerous job. You'll have seen today when you're out there, and people don't think of that. They drive on the motorway, but if you're stood there on the hard shoulder and you've got a lorry coming past you at 60, 70 miles an hour, it's very hair-raising, and our guys are out there, and safety is most important to us. So aside from the cost of it and the time we spend doing it, it's putting our guys in danger. So the less we have to litter pick, the safer it is for our operatives.
We'll be back with more from the UK's motorways soon.